Tom Martin, it's all you.
My computer's working. I'm good. Good morning. Hey, Tiffany, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you text Steve Pugh and ask him if he's having any problems logging in with his computer? Because if so, we all might be able to help him out on how to get on. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I was like,
I jump on a call and you're telling me I got problems. That's great, Tom. I love you too, buddy.
Nice.
Good morning, everybody.
You were almost in for a text message from everyone on the call to say, where are you? You're late.
I wasn't even going to text. I was just going to straight up call and be like, Steve, get on the call now. Tom's waiting for you.
You ain't getting me with that one. That ain't happening. How are you, Tom?
I'm well. So good morning, everyone. And listen, congratulations to everyone that is on the call on time. This is being recorded. So those of you who are driving, don't take notes. You can always go back and listen to this. Those of you who are here on time, that are sitting at a desk or where they can take notes, please do. I actually have Steve Pugh today as a guest and co-hosting this with me today. And I want to kind of talk about Steve's journey. My goal is only in the next several weeks is the first 90 days of this year is to talk about listings only. Listings only. The reason is, do you know, I want to give you guys some stats. All right. Those of you who can write these down, please write these down. You are going to be blown away by these stats. So let's see here. All right. So in the state of Florida, there are 41,454 brokerages. 41,454 brokerages just in the state of Florida. Now, it might be an agent who is now a broker of his own office. It might be whatever it is. There are 280,081 agents in the state of Florida. 280,000 realtors in the state of Florida alone.
Okay, what are we saying?
There's 416 real estate schools in the state of Florida. This is gonna, I'm leading into where we're gonna go. All right, in the state of Florida, there's 47,000 active listings. In the US, there's 270,000 active listings. All right, so I want to stop there for a second. If we have 280,000 realtors just in the state of Florida, in the entire US, there's only 270,000 listings. That means we have more realtors just in the state of Florida than the entire US has active listings. So does that sound like, oh my gosh, we are in a very competitive market on how to get listings? How do I become the listing agent and go into the stats of being a listing agent? And by the way, if you become a listing agent, you become an attractor of buyers. Well, those of you that pay for Zillow, Realtor.com, there's no negativity. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But where do you think they get those buyer leads from? Your listings. They contact Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin on your listings because you guys aren't either doing the right marketing or you're not answering the phone with these buyers, or there could be a gap there. Get the listings and the buyers come. So what I want to focus on today is how an agent becomes successful year in, year out through an up market, a down market, a depressed market, and succeed through all the way through that at a high level. So Steve Pugh is a friend of mine. Steve's been in business probably over 22 years. He had his own brokerage for 17 years before he merged in with EXP, and he had several agents in his brokerage. and he focuses on growing his real estate business and the agents within his organization. So we're going to do a little Q&A. I'll ask some questions, he'll interact, and then he'll tell us a little bit of his story. So the goal is—
real quick, can I share something? Just a testament to what's going on out there. So next thing we know, they'll be giving away free cars. But we had a listing that went live a few days ago, obviously multiple offers. I was out on appointments yesterday, but I get back to the office and another agent has dropped this off, right? One of the agents that submitted an offer, and it says, this is from my buyers for address. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know your guys' thoughts on that, but that's pretty, I almost don't want to say no to the offer, just depending on what it is. So I don't know. That's how it's getting out there. That was dropped off at my office, hand delivered. So it's probably $50, $60 basket,
Steve, I want to piggyback on that. Now, there is a fine line of code of ethics and all that other stuff that's going on, just like love letters, right? But I want to dig into that for a moment. What is that thinking outside of the box for your buyer, right? That's incredible. So guys, and that's also a good relationship builder with that realtor to go, hey, you know what? I need to stop and have a coffee with you and understand your thought process on growing your business and helping your buyers and sellers, because that is an incredible,
really,
that's right there is just a wow factor for me.
That's almost like an attraction conversation it could turn into.
I didn't want to dig into that part, but absolutely.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So Steve, thanks for joining in this morning. Steve's a preparer. He wants to prepare for everything. And I told him, he goes, what do I need to be here for? And I absolutely gave him no information whatsoever. So
as usual. So listen, real quick, I just wanted to start. I mean, the name of the game obviously is listings. You're either an employer or an employee. As a listing agent, you're the employer. I will tell you, I was buyer heavy for many, many, many years. Been in the business now since 97. For probably 20 years, I was buyer heavy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I loved buyers. I made a good living off of buyers for many, many years. I only made the switch. I only just transformed my business. I'm going to say it, last year. So for me, out of I think I did 80 units last year. Out of the 80 units that I did, 50 of those, approximately 50, I should be prepared and have the numbers. Tom, as I said before, Tom may know more than I do. But no, 50 of those were listings.
You had over 70 listings. You had a 38% increase year over year in listings. So you had the previous year, I think it was just under 50, and this year it was over like 72. So
okay.
So
I throw my stats out there not to be arrogant, but for a reason. For me, it was a mindset shift, and it was a total focus shift, and it was scary. I will tell you that. But basically, you have to say no to say yes. That was the bottom line. I said no to buyers. I didn't work with buyers. I only concentrated and focused my lead generation efforts daily on prospecting for sellers. That was it. And it was difficult to say no to buyers, but that's what I did. And the business made it shift, and it's working out. I can get into, because I know generally we want to know, I can get into where the majority share of that business came from. But I don't know where you want to stop, Tom.
So Steve, I want to stop right there. I got my book out, by the way. I'm going to read not read some stuff, but I'm going to give you guys some many virtues of seller listings, what it does for you. So what Steve just said is he said no to buyers and he said yes to listings, to sellers, right? Now, if you're a single agent, I'm not telling you not to work with buyers. That's not what he's telling you. But what he did say is, in today's market, you have to invest a lot of time with buyers. And I get it. It's so rewarding when we get them on the contract. And guess what? We have nothing else after that. So you got to be very purposeful on your time blocking to lead generate for sellers. If you are taking a buyer out during lead generation time, you are telling yourself, I'm not growing my business this year. Say no to buyers during that time that you are prospecting for sellers. Hey, Red, this is Tom. I know you want to go see homes at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I have 3 to 6 available. Are those times good for you? Sure, that's good. Don't tell them, hey, you tell me what's best for you. You're the business owner. Say no to the buyers during the day. I'm not saying that there's going to be circumstances, but in order to grow a listing inventory, you got to make choices. And I promise you, the one buyer you're chasing may be the one buyer that affects your entire year of business. All right. So Steve, where did a majority of your listings come from last year? And not just last year, but year over year, what's the consistency that you see where you have sellers coming from? So if I said to you, where are all your, what was your success in achieving listings year in and year out?
SOI and database, but we have things.
What is SOI? What is SOI?
Sphere of influence.
So you're telling me the people you know are giving you listings, or are you telling me that you have to reach out to them?
A bit of both, but go figure, huh?
So let me ask you a question, Steve. How many listings did you not get last year from your sphere of influence because you didn't follow up with them?
Shoot. I mean, obviously there was some fallout. We did miss some. I mean, is that a weighted question? I would say we missed, you know what I mean? We try to touch on everybody. So we have things systemized. We utilize George's evidence of success postcard that goes out once a month. We utilize the golden ladder. So every listing that we sell, we'll mail out 50 golden letters around that property after it closes.
Tell me about the golden letter. What is the golden letter?
So it's basically in layman's form. I don't have it up. Michelle does it all. But basically it's letting people know that that property was in a multiple offer situation. We generated offers. We still have buyers ready, willing, and able that are looking within the neighborhood. Do you want to sell your house? And if you do, what's your number?
That's fantastic. So
can we find that somewhere? Is there somewhere we can get that?
You can. You know what I'll do? I'll get a copy of it and I'll post it on Workplace. Is that all right?
Rock, man. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I can do that. So we do that, Tom. We also, on the first Friday of every month, we will send out an email to the SOI in the database, just saying what new listings we took. If you don't have new listings, use the company, obviously get permission, but use your team or brokerage's office and send them out to your SOI in your database. Every first Friday of the month, just here's what we took. Who do you know looking to buy? And then the third Friday, we'll send out a buyer email also to SOI and database the third Friday of the month. We have the following buyers looking, Bill and Pat are looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $300,000 in Kissimmee. Who do you know looking to buy? I mean, who do you know looking to sell, rather? So we'll send that out first Friday, third Friday. We'll send out the golden letter around the solds. We'll send out an evidence success once a month to the SI in the database on one of the listings that we've closed. Trying to think what else I can give you guys.
So Steve, I want to kind of back up for a second here. So you're sending out golden letters. Do you have to have a listing to send out a golden letter?
No, sir.
Okay,
no, sir.
So that's kind of an idea around circle prospecting with a letter, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's a great, that's one that I never thought about. And so every Friday you send out emails to your sphere of influence and your database of all the listings that you guys have listed, or just listings in general that might have been listed with EXP.
Just that first Friday of the month, reoccurring systematically. Okay. And then the third Friday, we'll send out the buyer email saying we have the following buyers looking in the following areas. What we're also starting to do now is equity analysis. So we're trying to get, in an ideal world, we'd like to get 5 out a week from the team members' SOI and any closed database. we'll do like an equity analysis.
I want to jump on that for 1 second, Steve. What is an equity analysis? When you told me this, when I heard this quote for the equity analysis from you, I think it was 2 weeks ago during the grand opening, I was like, holy cow, equity analysis. What is an equity analysis and how does that work?
I wish I could give you like a glamorous answer. It's a fancy word for a CMA, is basically
Guys,
what it is.
So if you're sending an email out or a call to your sphere of influence and you say, hey, would you like a competitive market analysis, or you're telling them, hey, would you like an equity analysis?
That's it. Yeah.
Guys, that's just a twist in a couple words that makes it more attractive for them to go, yeah, heck yeah, I want to know how much equity I have.
Yeah. And then we're reaching out and we're having conversations with our closed and SOI. And if they're saying, you know, they're not interested in selling, we're asking directly, well, what number would it take for you to sell? Because people don't realize that the craziness going on, and that number they may give you may very well be within reach. But if you're not asking the questions and you're not having these conversations, none of it matters, you know?
Steve, I got a question for you. If you were to weigh out the time, could you, and obviously you have buyer's agents, but let's say you're a single agent and you're looking to do 30 transactions. How much would you have more time selling 30 transactions to your family and your business if you worked with just sellers or just buyers? Who's going to consume more time?
Well, of course, it's the average hours. I used to know the stats on that, Tom.
Yeah, it used to be 3 to 1. And now I would say it's much more than that. 3 hours to an hour. It would take an average of 3 hours for every hour you had on a listing. It would take 3 hours with a buyer.
Gotcha.
So
I mean, another thing you could do too is take a team member's listing, because a lot of agents aren't doing it. It's just piggyback off of that listing. Ask them if you can circle prospect, even door knock. Like I said before, 5, 5, 10, 5 houses to the left, 5 houses to the right, 10 across the street. I mean, you've got to maximize off of it. Each listing that you get or your team gets, you need to maximize the opportunity in every way possible.
So seller listings mean more marketing opportunities. You get to put your sign in the yard. You get to market through direct mail and email, etc. You get to advertise it through newspapers, magazines, MLS, websites. You have more control of your time. Seller listings maximize your per hour compensation. By the way, this is directly from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent on page 102. It increases your volume opportunity. With sellers, you are on the front end of prices. So you actually are in a whole lot more control of the transaction. So Steve, you said SOI is a majority of your business. So we have, I know Paul Saperstein's on here and several others are top,
What's up, Paul?
We got Tony Fuentes. We have some top listing agents on here. And so as a listing agent, what would you say to the group? What's the number one thing they need to be doing to get more sellers? 25
contacts a day. That's the standard.
25 contacts, is that
all you've got to do is talk to people. That's all you've got to do is expose yourself. 25 contacts a day. Set yourself a goal that you're going to have 25 real estate related conversations.
25 real estate conversations. Now, is that to your sphere of influence? Is that to prospecting?
Ideally sphere, but I mean, you can't say we don't have the people to talk to. You can get a circle prospect list. We can generate it off of RedX. I'll even generate it for you if you want, if that helps. I mean, it doesn't take but 2 minutes, you know?
Steve, I remember a long time ago when I first started in the business, I asked the guy, I said, David, so how do I get listings? He handed me a phone book. Yeah. He handed me a phone book. By the way, there was no Zillow, no Realtor.com. The internet was not the same back then. There wasn't all these for sale by owner sites and everything else. he gave me a phone book and he said, just start calling the A's and then the B's. And I go, what do I say?
But it's dialogue again. Like Andrew, I can hear him in the other room. There's 4 or 5 of them script and role playing right now on Zoom. So that's another thing that's important too. thebookofyes.com. Go to thebookofyes.com, Kevin Ward. It's a free book. All you gotta do is pay shipping. That's a good little book. If you guys want to pick that up.
And Kevin Ward is one of the most amazing coaches out there. And he was actually a Mike Ferry coach himself. He's got great YouTubes. And he's got great scripting YouTube videos. And the reason I wanted Steve to be on this call today is he lives it every day and he is devoted and committed. He's committed to these, he's committed so much to his listing business that I actually had to beg him to be on this call today to give value to you guys because he's saying no to his lead gen right now to help you guys.
Can I wanted to pull out just a quick text we're using too. That may help some people out. I don't know if I can, and I'm not that tech savvy, Tom. Is there any way I can screen share on my end?
I'm gonna,
Is that possible?
Tiffany, I think Tiffany has to make you.
Yes, he can. He can.
You can.
He should be able to.
You can.
Let's see if I can do this real quick. While we're waiting, does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Oh, I don't know if this will work. Bear with me. Old tech savvy Steve. Okay. You guys can see that or no?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I can see it.
The problem is I don't know. Come on. Okay. So these are some of the things that we're starting to implement. This is just something we brought up in team meeting on Wednesday. But CMA a day. So send 1 CMA, aka equity analysis, per day for the next 60 days via email. And then send them a video text. I know how much we love doing video, and letting them know that you sent the email and then follow up with a phone call. That's kind of a system you could utilize. And then the text that we mass texted, and I had some good results with this. We mass texted this about 2 weeks ago, and I ended up with about 4 listing appointments from that text. It went out to the SOI and the database. And bear with me, I gotta find it. Isn't it? Sorry guys, hold on. Look at this guy, huh? So this guy, Jason Farris, I'm not sure where he was out of, but he dedicated to booking 225 listing appointments. He fell short by 20. This is back in 17, but he booked 205. He had 17 canceled. He went on 188 and got 143 of them. Aren't those some numbers right there?
Well, I know that when you get up to bat, you're gonna, the more up to bat and the more you swing, the more times you're gonna hit that ball, right? And if you're not going on listing appointments, you're not gonna get a listing. It just doesn't work.
Oh, Tom, guys, I'm sorry.
All right, I'm just gonna do a quick little exercise here while you're finding that, all right? So guys, can you see my, can you stop your sharing for a second, Steve?
Yeah, if I can. You should never have let me start sharing, Tom.
At the very top of your screen, it'll be a red, there you go. All right, guys, can you see you see this okay? Can you see this okay? All right, so we have 70 people on the call, and I want you to look at this triangle. Some of you may know it, and that's okay. Consistency and persistency will equal success. So if I want leads, I'm going to need listings. And when I get a ton of listings and I get a ton of leads, I'm going to need leverage. Leverage is something like a transaction coordinator, an assistant, whatever it may be. Okay. Now, if I can think like a listing agent, I'm going to be more purposeful on getting listings. If I can think that I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. See, it's about our beliefs. If you start believing, oh, there's no listings out there, then go find another job or go on a team. Okay. Now, if I say to myself, I'm going to earn a certain amount of money from listings this year, I think I'm going to do it. You are putting reality in front of you and you will achieve it. If you don't think that you can earn this, go work on a team. Let them think for you. Stop putting the limited beliefs on where you can go and what you can do. The other thing I would say is, how much are you going to net? There's a difference between gross and net. If you don't focus on the net, how do you think that you're going to achieve anything? And then the biggest thing that we want to focus on is receive. We want to receive leads. We want to receive opportunities. We want to receive all that we desire. If we don't, guys, why are you even here? So someone says to me, hey, it's not my behavior to be a listing agent. Okay. It's not my behavior to do this. Do it until you don't have to do it anymore and replace yourself. But if you're not focused on listings, you're never going to get the leads unless you're paying for them. And then once you grow your listing inventory and you start getting leads, that's when you get leverage. That's when you become a Paul Saperstein, a Steve Pugh, a Tony. You start getting buyers agents. Think you'll earn a certain amount of money. Think like a millionaire. Earn $1 million. Net $1 million, and then you'll receive the rewards. You cannot start doing this without a limited belief. If you're in this business thinking, I really want to make 100,000 this year, but there's no way I'm going to do it. You're right, you're not. You already told yourself you're not. Focus on sellers. Guys, we are in a prime opportunity for listings right now. You have no idea. Oh, listings are hard to get. No, they're not. You just have, there's this story about this rooster, right? This rooster is there's two roosters digging for worms. It's moist outside and the worms keep rising to the top, right? So the roosters are eating and they're getting big and fat. Well, guess what? The ground starts, it's a freeze. The ground is hard as a rock. No more worms are coming to the top. These roosters are starting to starve. Well, only one rooster survives without dying of starvation. It's the rooster that digs deeper into the ground to get the worms. And right now, you have to dig deeper to get the listings. The inventory is out there. We just have a shortage of lead generation.
Right.
So Steve is telling you right now, from his experience, sphere of influence, equity letters,
I mean,
email.
what we're trying to teach the team too is that obviously you've got people that will try to avoid the phones, but it's an integral part of the business. But even in the grocery store, it's just looking for that opportunity. If you can have a minimum set, like, you're going to do 5 business cards a day, it can be uber awkward. You walk up to somebody and say, hey, listen, real quick, I know this is a bit strange, but if you had a real estate need, who would you reach out to? 9 times out of 10, they don't have somebody, and just let them know, I'd love to be that resource for you. Here's my card. It's just, if you've got to set minimum standards for yourself, and you got to get into action. Execution,
what method do you
strategy.
use for texting?
Say again?
What method do you use for mass texting?
That would be a Michelle question. We use it through KV Core, I'm pretty sure.
So that's a system we already have, right?
Yep, we use it through KV Core. And I will get that up for you guys. I feel terrible I can't find it. It's basically a text that we had sent out to SOI and database, short, straight to the point, call to action. And as I said, I think I got 4 to 5 listing appointments off of that in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
So guys, that right there is a huge aha to me. That one mass text, he personalized it. Do you have that script for that text for them yet? Did you find it?
No, I'm driving myself nuts looking for it.
Okay.
I'll get the screenshot up in Workplace, right? Or I can probably get it from Michelle in a minute and try to put it in the chat.
Okay. So a couple of things that we heard is sphere of influence, letters, emails on Fridays, buyer emails, equity analysis, mass text messaging.
Yeah, we're doing a pop-off, so a pop buy, something I just thought of. So we're doing a pop buy of Valentine's Day, right? Let me pull it up real quick. Basically it's affordable. It's a little pizza kit. It's got like a crust, a bottle of sauce, some cheese, and it says, "You've got a piece of my heart." Pizza, play on words. So we're doing a pop buy to, I think, 20 of our top clients here locally on the 14th. And then obviously this is a bigger scale, but those pop buys you can do it to people, do it to your SOI, your COI, do it, drop it off. It's affordable, just to promulgate some business. We have a client appreciation event this Saturday too, like a movie in the park. So I'm excited for that.
And who's participating in the cost of that, or are you just paying for the entire thing?
No, I have a lender offsetting some of it. I gotta
Okay.
find all this stuff for you guys. I should have had it ready. I'm gonna post that too. It'll be a screenshot. It shows you exactly what's in the little package and the language that we're gonna use. So we have some of those collectively with the team. I think we have 50 being dropped off a day before Valentine's Day.
So Paul Saperstein, are you on the call? I see you're on the call. Are you able to jump in real quick?
Earth to Paul. Where you at, buddy?
He might be on a mute or another call. So guys, what I really wanted to deliver today with Steve today is how to stay more focused on listings. Did he actually, he didn't mention something that he also does. And I want to dig into this because some of you may do this and some of you may not. Some of you, it may be okay for you to do it. Some of you may not want to do it. And that is for sale by owners. You gotta, so he talked heavily about sphere of influence, but in order to keep building your database, you also need to call for sale by owners and circle prospect. Circle prospecting is a massive opportunity, guys. Remember I said about the rooster digging deep into the ground because it's all dry. You got to dig deeper. You got to be doing circle prospecting and as an opportunity, especially if you have a buyer. If you have a buyer looking in a certain community, you need to be knocking on those doors or calling that community. If you're not, you're telling your buyer, I don't want to work hard for you. I'm working so hard for you. I've been looking on the MLS all day long. No, why don't you go knock on doors? Why don't you go get that list of that community and start calling them? You're not doing everything you can.
And when you do the FSBO and the circle prospecting calls are a little bit tougher. Do the easy calls first to get yourself warmed up. Maybe do 5 calls to a closed database or somebody you know, just to get yourself warmed up and then go into those harder calls. Ideally, I would highly suggest you guys get involved in some type of script and role play before your call session. And it's going back to that most realtors are reactionary. You know what I mean? They'll wake up, the text message goes off, their email goes off, they'll respond to that instead of setting a schedule. You guys got to set yourselves a schedule at least until noon. After 12 noon, then you can do whatever the heck you want. But you got to master the morning. So
Steve, in the mornings, you guys do a script and role play, right? On Zoom?
We do, yeah. Yeah, Andrew's one of our top team members now. He's been no fear on for sale by owners. Obviously, there's a bit of monkey mind in there. We had one about 3 weeks ago where it just came on Zillow. And you want to tell yourself, well, they're not going to list yet. It just came on. But sure enough, we reached out, got the appointment and listed.
So Steve, what is that Zoom link for those morning calls that you do that anybody can get on? And I know I just put you on a spot.
I will, you know what? If you can give me about 30 seconds, I'll get it in the chat. All right.
Okay.
Hold on.
So we have 62 people on here. I know Joe Vero's on that call in the mornings. I know Anthony DeVito's on those calls in the morning. Andrew's on those calls. And guys, all it is an opportunity. There's a script, role play, and start making your calls. And it's all listing focused. Right now, if you could take one listing per month, would that change your entire real estate business? Whether you're a top agent or not, would one additional listing per month change your business? See, one listing per month is 12 per year. Those 12 listings will turn into 36 sales. Try me on it, anyone. I promise you, you will lose. It will create 36 sales. Okay, so if we know that we can triple our business this year by getting one listing, why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we digging deep and going into our sphere of influence? Why aren't we digging deep and going to the communities and door knocking and circle prospecting? Why aren't we doing that? You know, or why are we not talking to our neighbors and saying, hey, there's a lot of buyers for this community. Do you know anybody that's looking to sell? Because your neighbor may know a few of the neighbors you don't know. Are you being purposeful? Are you being purposeful? So listings are key. Are you talking to business owners or your vendors or your title people, your lenders, your health, your home inspectors, are you going to new home builders and saying, hey, I love to build a relationship with you, and I know you're not supposed to give me a name of anyone who's looking to sell so they can buy in your community, but who are they? I got a friend of mine that works for a new builder here. Anybody that ever wants to sell, he's calling me. Hey, by the way, this individual really wants to sell their home so they can buy in this community. Steve, just put it.
It's in there. Finally. Like
just put it in the chat box. Go ahead, Steve. I don't want to steal your thunder. Tell them.
No, it's in there. It was like pulling teeth. I got it.
So if you would like to get on the morning mastermind, not mastermind, the morning script and role play, click the link. And what time does it start, Steve?
8:30.
It starts at 8:30.
8:30, and we try to cut it a hard stop at 9:15.
9, so 45 minutes. Guys, this is between the 8:30 to 9:30 mastermind calls. So what I want you to think about is going, okay, Mondays are my day. I'm not doing that script and role play because I need to hear Max. Tuesday, I need to hear the database. Wednesday. So those are the link. Drop in there. If you can get on there one day a week, that is more than what you're doing right now. If you can get in there 2 days a week, that is more than what you're doing right now.
All right, guys, and I'll get that golden letter in workplace, that text that that mass text we sent out a couple weeks ago, and the Valentine pop buys. I'll get the little screenshot in there so anybody can look at it if you want to utilize any of that. All right. Yeah,
there's a lot of gold in this call today. Yes, Benny, Monday through Friday, they do it. So I'm going through all the questions. Naomi, thank you for setting all that up for everyone for the yes.
Mr. DeFalco has his hand raised there, Tom.
Well, you go ahead and go ahead, Freddie.
Hey guys, let me tell you something. This is incredible. Number one. Number two, it'd be like a young kid, on a little league going on into the ball field with the Yankees and whoever playing, and they say, okay, get out there and play first base. There's a couple things that are going to happen to everybody on this call. One is the feelings of futility. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. You're listening to two business people here, people who have built a phenomenal business. Paul Saperstein, phenomenal business. So you're maybe going through like, yeah, I know, and there's feelings of futility. And Tom said it, and it went past really fast. Find your way. You can't go from where you are to where they are right now. They're business people. They're building a business, but you can if that's your desire. What I recommend, and Tom said it, join a team, do this, do that. So you got to crawl before you walk. Inch by inch is the cinch. You don't know Steve's story. You don't know Tom. So
Yeah.
watch
Fred.
out for the feelings of fertility.
Fred, can I say something real quick? And I'm going to share it, and I don't mind. I was in the depths of alcohol and drug addiction 6 years ago. My sobriety date is April 8th. I've been in this business for a long time.
Guys, that's bravery.
I made a conscious decision. I got saved. I mean, obviously not everyone's religious, but I got saved and made a decision 6 years ago on a commitment. And what I did was I stayed learning based. Every frigging moment of every frigging day, I tried to consume and retain as much information and try to learn from people that were bigger than me, better than me, smarter than me. And that's all I did. And I consumed and consumed. And it's a quest, you know. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever get to the destination, but I realize it's just a journey. So I just wanted to share that. The reason I share that is because if I can freaking do it, which I'm nobody, but if I can come from that dark place I was, I mean, anything's possible, you know?
See,
So,
that's what I'm talking about, folks. I knew your story. And so all of us on the call, you know, I'm going to help someone with a commercial deal right now. You know, brand new with us a few months, and this is his second one. And so find your way. This business is so vast. I was on a meeting yesterday with Lucido Global Group out of Keller Williams, 400 people internationally. He runs a group. He has all these team opportunities. He has all this other stuff that he's built for people. And there's a lot of that in EXP. Reach out and find an EXP team and crawl before you walk. And don't get discouraged, whatever you do. Don't get discouraged, whatever you do. Keep moving. Steve, I'm glad you shared that. And you know, we got 80, we have 80 people on the call, and you know, there's probably 10% that have the business desire to go as big as what all you're doing, but all the rest of us can work for someone like you. I mean, I'd go to work for you tomorrow if I was back starting all over again. And you hit the key, man. Look at Steve's hat. That's a Tony Robbins hat. And so it's mindset, it's input. So thank you, brother. I love you, and Tom, I love you, man. You guys are just, thank you so much. I'm gonna take this broadcast. I'm gonna market it.
don't get me choked up, Fred. Come on.
Guys, did you hear the vulnerability in Stephen? I know that was very courageous of him to share that. And what by him sharing that is an accountability to his sobriety, but also an accountability to his business. And for you guys to hear that, some of you may be struggling. My sobriety date is March 5th, coming up of 6 years. We're right. That's what, and Steve and I didn't know each other before that.
No.
It's kind of like, oh my gosh, look, we got a lot in common. All of us in this call have something in common. And if you're struggling with something that's in the way of your success, you got to confront it. You got to be open about it, whether it's addictions, whether it's a limited mindset. There's always something stopping us from our full potential. And what stops us from our full potential, and this is, by the way, Tony Robbins, a pattern box. It's our beliefs and our patterns that stop us from reaching our potential. And our potential is limited, which creates less action to create the results that we want. So your beliefs and your patterns and your habits have to be, you have to confront them and go.
You know, I'm sorry, Tom. It's all these strategies. They're great, but a lot of it is here, and that's what you've got to work on. You know, you've got to try to put yourself in friction every day. You know, otherwise there's no growth. Like, you know what I mean? Even being on this call, this is not my forte. I spoke at an event a couple of weeks ago, and I was in total fear. But it's just something that, you know what I mean, I had to push myself to do, you know. And then it's self-growth. Get involved in programs, get involved in stuff that's going to help you grow. I'm going to Tampa next week for a public speaking course. I'm going to immerse myself for 2 days because I need to get better, you know. So just try to invest in yourselves is what I'm trying to say.
And relate it back to your listing opportunities. Invest in yourself Because here's the thing, you can say, I have a goal to do 20 listings. Are you investing in your education and your personal self to achieve those listings?
Right.
Because you have to become this other person to get there. You just don't get it. Nobody is just handed 30 listings, 40 listings, 50 listings, 72 listings. You got to work for it and you got to become that individual. But in that journey, you got to do the work. You got to become better. You got to be learning based. You got to be coachable. You got to accept who and what is in the way. And then you got to be able to fight it and get through it. It's like going for a touchdown. You got to fight through the defense to get there. Right?
Yeah. I wish I could give them a magic answer, but it's time on task over time. Success comes to those that are obsessed with consistency. That's the bottom line.
Can you say that one more time? Success comes to those who
Success comes to those who are obsessed with consistency.
Success comes to those who are obsessed with consistency.
And it's time on
Consistency
task
and
over
persistence
time.
equals success.
That's all it takes. There's no, I know it sounds nuts, but that's all it takes. And that's all it's going to separate you from the other agents out there. Go ahead.
So Steve, I want to ask you a quick question. How many times did you tell me no?
Shoot, Tom, 9 months of no's. And I wish I would have told you yes the first bloody time I met you. But 9 months, wasn't it? So how many no's could I fit in there? It was a bunch.
Did I stay in front of you?
Absolutely, you did. Got on my friggin' nerves.
So it's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. Be consistent and be persistent. You deserve it. Don't sit back and go, oh, they told me no. Heck no. I don't care if you tell me no. No means, can do me a favor. And I heard this, and Tony Robbins said this. Please think about this for a second. Don't tell me no. Just tell me maybe and not yet. Can you do that for a second? Don't tell me no, maybe or not yet. I know you don't want to list with me now, maybe later, but not yet. But there's no.
And just systemize things, your quarterly calls, set up calls quarterly to SOI and database. Make sure you do it. If you have to do it, use George's system alphabetically, but just make sure you're making quarterly calls as well, because there's no point being sporadic with it. You got to put it in your calendar and make sure you're doing it.
Thanks, Lizette, for 9 months of labor pains with me. So guys, Q&A, open it up. This is your time. It's interactive. Q&A, ahas. What did you get out of it? I know Steve dropped a lot of golden nuggets. He is going to drop that text golden nugget into the workplace.
I will.
As soon as he finds it.
Tom and Steve, this is Tony. I got to add this in. I got to act like George Philbeck right now. You mean to tell me it has to be consistent? You have to continue doing it? You don't just do it one day or for like 1 week and expect results?
No, that you might go a full 5 days with nothing, Tony, but guess what? You got to do it again.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's amazing. So you don't get it the first day. You don't just get into real estate and you get like leads right away. You got to go out there and get them. You got to do the work and you got to do it consistently, just like they say. Wow, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So mastery.
Light bulb moment, Tony. Light bulb moment.
So mastery. And I know Tony's always inconsistent learning base, and so is Steve and many of us on this call. Mastery is when you can say, I mastered something. Mastery is when you do it 10,000 or more times. So when you say, oh, I mastered that. I read that book. Oh, I already went to that training event. Okay, great. You went to the training event. Did you go to it 10,000 times? Then you didn't master it. You don't know what the heck. Tell me about the event. Tell me one good thing that you got out of it and you took action. Well,
That's the key. Well, Tom, that's the key right there is action. You know what I mean? You've got to execution trump strategy every time.
Yeah, I'd rather have someone who takes action on everything that they learn versus someone who's extremely intelligent that does absolutely nothing to take action.
Right. Mm-hmm.
mediocrity, whatever is, I don't know those words, but anyway, thank you, Tony, for jumping in. Anyone
Hey,
else?
I've got something.
Go ahead,
Tom?
bud.
Hey, thanks guys. You guys were awesome today. That was actually perfect timing for me. I have an interview with a team that's local here, EXP team, and that's at 11, but I've really been struggling with it because I'm just about to get out of mentorship and I'm finally about to see that 80-20 split and get a real taste of, you know, some better money, right? So I don't think I need the team, but I need what the team offers on the back end to streamline my business. Because right now I finally wrap my head around it. I get it 100%. I get my own business. I go door knocking, I go cold calling. That's how I get everything. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, maybe I want that office environment. And also, you know, it'd be great to have a TC and all the back end stuff so I could just focus on getting more business, volume. But it's, I don't know, maybe I don't think I need the team really. I think I just need to get set up, and I don't know who to talk to help me set up my business so I can just be like that on my own.
David, I got two questions for you. The first question is, are we stronger together as a team?
Yes.
Okay. See, I want you to think about that. And the second thing, I want you to ask them this question. If my goal is to earn this amount of money, how can you help me get there? See, it's not about getting an 80-20. It's about what's the end result and what am I going to learn through the process? And then Steve runs a team. So Steve, jump in on that.
I will. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to push the team approach. I will tell you, I'm a firm believer that the average life of a team member should be 2 to 3 years. You should be at the point after 2 to 3 years where you're ready to go on your own. You got to understand cost of sale is 30%. If you're marketing and doing your own advertising and so forth. The other thing I think people need to look at is business for the future, the long game, David. So if you're a solo agent and you're doing, say, 8 to 10 units, I'm not saying that's what you're going to do, but we're just saying hypothetically speaking, and you jump on a team and you're doing 25 to 30, you know, just the repeat and referral business off of those units 3 to 4 years from now versus the repeat and referral business off of 20 units instead of 50 or 60, I think is invaluable. So, I mean, I know we get caught up on all these splits, but you've got to look at the big picture, you know?
So can I jump in here real quick? The split wasn't my real issue. The issue was there's some verbiage in the contract that says basically every client is and always will be like the team leaders forever. And so I'm like, okay, am I going to pop out the other end of this stuff? And everybody I ever put into this database, working so hard, knocking doors, cold calling and stuff, it's not going to be mine. I got to start from scratch. Like,
what about referrals?
That's what I'm concerned about.
What about referrals from that lead? What does that look like?
It didn't say anything about referrals.
David, what I would do, and I've helped a lot of people through this process, and you can actually call me personally too. What I would do is I would confront the team and say, everyone I grow into the database, me personally, yes, I understand goes into your database, but I want to be able to put in writing that is mine if I decide to leave from the team.
Okay. David, as a new agent, I mean, I don't want to sound biased. I would suggest it, but go with your gut, you know? I mean, if you're a self-starter and a self-generator, you know?
Can I say something?
Yes.
I actually debated this myself and was on a call, I believe last week, asking the same thing in an after party, because I have been debating it myself, joining a team. I have been on my own for a year, almost a year, and I've done fairly well. I wouldn't say I've done amazingly great that I could have done on a team, but I've done fairly well being a new agent. I did have successful closings. I did make some money. Wasn't what I was used to making, but I'm going to get there. So my thing was, do I want to join a team or do I want to stay solo? Well, here's my dilemma. I have leads that I'm working. I have a listing. I don't have many. Let's say I have 12 leads and 3 listings. That's okay for myself. But why would I want to, and this was after talking to the group, why would I want to take 100% or even 80% of everything that I'm getting, the 12 leads plus 3 listings, that's potentially 15 people to sell, when in an essence, I could be part of a team that here locally is selling millions of dollars worth every week, and I could be taking half of millions.
Sounds like you just answered your own question.
Oh, I
And the thing
did.
is, you've got to join the right team. There's people
Yes.
out there that'll sell 50 houses and then say, well, I'm going to start a team. So you've got to ask the right questions, ask them what accountability measures they have in place.
And it has to be,
You
and it
know?
has to be and it has to be the right match. You know what, Deborah? You got to feel it, like Steve said, feel it in your heart. Does it match? Does it feel right? Same thing with you, David. Does it match? Does it feel right? And then you decide at that point. I know teams, $20 million teams that have joined $100 million teams. Why would that $20 million team join the $100 million team? And it's because we're stronger together. We grow at a faster, higher level when we come together as a group, right? We can achieve more in a group, in a team, than we can alone. So think about that. If it's in your heart and it feels right, jump in. If it's in your heart and it feels right and you hold back, you're going to always be questioning, why didn't I do that? And it's going to hold you back from your own growth. So
Ask them,
appreciate
Deb, ask
that.
them
Thank
what
you.
accountability measures they have, or ask them if you can see their expectations or deliverables.
yeah,
I will.
expectation.
I've had one interview with the team. Well, I've actually interviewed 2 teams. One of the teams I didn't feel comfortable with, so I reached out to another one that I have actually been looking up to. A lot of you know her as Avery Carl, that her team is here. So I've been really hoping and praying to get on that team. And I've had my first interview. They ordered me to order 3 different books and read them. And once my 3 books are read, then I can reach back out for my second interview.
You got this.
That's
They'll
good
be privileged.
expectation.
They'll be privileged to have you, Deb.
Hey,
Thanks.
Deb, it's
Okay.
Robert. I'm here today.
Robert,
Robert!
hey, Robert,
Oh my gosh.
well, you're almost as gray as
When you say
me, Robert.
accountability measures,
Accountability, Tom, I haven't been shaven.
What's up, my friend?
So, Deb, I have been contemplating teams for many years. And any of you that know me, I'm a little bit of a control freak. I ask very specific questions. I take it on just like I would interview for a full-time employment position. Can I please see what my contract is when I sign on, and what's my termination agreement look like? I want to know what I own at the time that I do this. A lot of organizations I've gone to, I would have to waive away any access to protected proprietary information that I would develop. This is the same exact thing. Your contacts are proprietary information to you. It is your revenue stream for life. Ask the question, but you have to ask it in such a way that you don't turn them off, because it may be a great fit there for a couple of years, but it's when you decide you want to step out. The other side of that is, and a lot of you guys know this, when you get on a team, it can be great, but you don't show productivity because everything goes into the team name. And that can be a problem later on when you step out, where it doesn't look like you have any sales. You've got no ratings on Zillow. It doesn't show that you've had millions of dollars or participated in millions of dollars of sales. Ask that question because you want to make sure that you can get some recognition for sales, specifically for Zillow, get Zillow ratings. A lot of us are taking the relocation program right now. These are things that you got to look at for your future. So it's very important for the first year, but it's important about what happens from years 2 to 10.
is there a proposition I can bring to the table to negotiate? Because right now I'm about to go upstairs and type up some stuff so I can just get this stuff done today. So what you were just talking about, is there something I can be like, hey, look, I know you get all the credit for everything, but I would like some sort of, so when I pop
Negotiate it
out
is-
the other side.
Negotiate it. Is this a self-organized team or a true organized team?
Yeah. So David, one of the things too, I would jump in and I think we could probably do another call on, is a team a right fit for me? But I would definitely look at their expectations list and their long-term expectations. And if you don't agree with it, step away.
Expectations. Okay. And when you said accountability measures earlier, I didn't really know what that means.
Minimum contacts a day, attendance at team meetings, call nights, lead generation times.
Are you expected to be the agent they call at, midnight and say you're going out and doing a 6 a.m. showing? I mean, things of that nature. Understand what the role is that they want you to be in.
Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Well,
You're
we have
another
a
team.
24 unit minimum.
Complete clarity.
So,
Complete
I
hey, Tom, I'm
appreciate
gonna,
those questions.
gonna
They're
scoot.
well to ask.
I'm gonna scoot, Tom. Is that okay?
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for being here, Stevie.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening. I hope some of that helped.
That was very helpful. Thank you,
alright.
Steve. Really
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Steve. Have a
Yeah,
great
have a
weekend.
wonderful weekend, and I will get that stuff in before noon in workplace. All right?